Welcome back to the Garden with Joy and Holly radio show. Happy to have you around. We're going to talk about roses.
I don't think, when Joy and I were talking about this, I don't think he realizes how many varieties of roses there are.
Okay.
Do you have a guess?
200.
That's your guess?
That's my guess.
Out of all these rose people, that's your guess.
Well, okay, what's the answer?
30 to 50,000.
Okay.
That's a lot of roses. And there's probably varieties, just like tomatoes, just like peppers, that are only in somebody's backyard.
Okay.
Where they've grown it and it was handed down to them. I don't know. People give people rose bushes and stuff like that. So who knows? But anyway, roses are, I think, one of those things where if you grow them with a lot of pride and joy, and it's like your thing, which isn't a bad thing. You know, it's kind of like us with tomatoes and whatnot, but it's a very, from what I understand, we've talked to rose people, it's not a difficult thing to grow, but it does require some love and attention.
Yeah, you got to have a little bit of background in order to do it, and then you can learn as you go. Roses need about 6 hours of direct sunlight in order to get their optimal growth and proper flowering. Soil is also a key here. You know, well-draining, rich organic matter. You mix compost in it, organic matter, leaves, chemical-free, seed-free grass clippings, and you can work that in the soil. Aged manure helps as well.
Yeah, so let's go back to the sunlight thing. So that's for optimal growing. So just because maybe you have a little bit of a less full sun spot doesn't mean you can't grow roses. It just means that they may not be till their full potential. So don't give up hope. I guess if you want to grow roses, you could. You'd have to just be more mindful of that. One thing about roses is they don't necessarily need frequent watering. It's almost like houseplants in a sense, where once a week is good, probably. Where, I mean, obviously you can't control the rain, but they're okay with
more self-sustainable.
Yeah, the soil can dry. I've also heard that like they don't care about soil, but I don't think that's necessarily true.
Well, yeah, they do need. I mean, you just can't grow them in sand. They do need.
But it's not like they're. I believe they're more self-sustaining in the sense they don't need as much nutrients.
Well, right. Yeah. But you know, if you start out with good, rich organic matter, you're certainly going to put yourself in a very good position to have long-lasting roses for many, many years.
Right. Yeah. I'm not going. If I was going to grow something like a rose, I would not take a chance and be like, I can just grow it in whatever and hope it does the best. So yeah. And then roses they are heavy feeders, so they do need the fertilizing. You can get a rose-specific fertilizer. Otherwise, they do say like coffee grounds could work, or an alfalfa meal. I would stick with like a rose fertilizer. Yeah.
It's got the right components for such a plant, and you need to follow the back of the bag in order to properly distribute it and the frequency in which is needed, because it's keen to the plants. And there's tomato fertilizer, there's rose fertilizer, there's grass fertilizer. So you need to be aware of what you're getting. And there are some fertilizers that are more universal. But if you have the option to get the specific fertilizer for that type of plant, certainly is the better way to go.
Right. And
a well-cared rose bush can typically live between 10 and 15 years, and even longer. We've heard some roses living 100-plus years if maintenance is done right on them. But your average, typical, worst-case scenario, you're looking at 10, 15 years if you just love it a little bit.
That's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's like thinking about a plant going 100 years here in southeast Wisconsin. There's a bonsai tree, the Bonsai Tree Association people. I think it's like 300 years old or something. I'd have to look, but
whenever a plant or an animal or pet outlives you,
that's like, what is it? Tortoises,
parrots can and roses and trees.
Yeah,
your bonsai tree.
So fertilizing is good. Pruning. That's the one key about the rose situation, is that you do have to prune. It's part of helping
the maintenance, the production of it.
And
now, I'm not saying if you never prune it and you just grow it in the back corner and let it do its thing, it will survive. But if you prune it, it's going to put out more flowers. It's going to be healthier and less susceptible to, and maintenance, you're going to have to be less susceptible to certain diseases that roses can get.
And you might need a special pair of gloves because roses have the thorns.
Right.
Yeah. So you might want to keep that in mind before growing a rose. You might have to get some equipment, accessories, what have you. I don't know. Why don't we grow roses?
Just never have. Never done anything. There are rose varieties that are thornless. Yeah. So you can go that route as well. We've just never grown roses.
I don't like roses.
Now, if
why.
you don't like, now, if you're interested in rose growing and getting good quality roses, you can go to Edmund's Roses, your source for America's finest garden roses. Hundreds of roses from Zone 3 and up at edmundsroses.com. You can use coupon code you can use coupon code 15TG25, 15TG25 to receive 15% off your order at edmundsroses.com. edmundsroses.com is the place to go for that.
Yeah. So there's a good source for you in case you want to grow some of your own. So pruning, we talked about that. Mulching. So mulching is a good way to
edmundroses.com.
edmundroses.com. Mulching is important, as we've talked about. We talk about it probably every show on some capacity. Mulching is good. It suppresses weeds. It helps keep the moisture in. Sometimes it'll keep certain pests out or detoured, whatever. I don't think roses have many pests, but I could be wrong. I'd have to look here. Or maybe that's coming up. But mulching is good. You can do anything from wood chip to any sort of
gravel. You can do gravel.
Yeah.
Roses are susceptible to many pests. Aphids, Japanese beetles, thrifts, spider mites, caterpillars, scale insects, cone borers, leaf hoppers. So you prematurely jumped over on that one.
Oh, like a leaf hopper.
Now, there are certain varieties that are less susceptible, just like in vegetables. There's some that are more diseased and pest resistant. But roses are susceptible to several diseases, including fungal diseases, black spot, powdery mildew, and rose rust. Is several diseases in which they can be persistent or they can get a hold of.
These poor roses, they could have problems. Nobody is unsusceptible to powdery mildew, apparently.
No.
So, and I think that is a lot of times just circumstantial, because we only had it like once or twice on our squash. So, something to keep in mind. And just because you growing a rose doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And again, there's because there's 30 to 50,000 varieties, you could find a variety that works for you. You could find a thornless variety that is disease resistant and
more disease
resistant and can accept some shade maybe or what have you. So don't give up hope if you want to grow roses. They over time, so much things have changed. And I bet there's a color that you could find that you really like. I know our neighbor grows some, I think they're pink. I don't know. Pretty sure. Pink roses. So you can find different varieties, colors. Yellow is a popular one, I think. Red. Classic red. So yeah.
So, roses, and the other thing you need to be aware of when you're buying roses, if you typically go to your local independent garden center, they're going to have roses that are acclimated for your particular growing zone. If you buy from edmundsroses.com, you need to know your zone. And you can go to your favorite search engine, type in my growing zone, and insert your zip code. If you're in growing zone 5, I would look for a rose that is good down to zone 4. I wouldn't go to the specific zone that I'm in, because there are anomalies. That's not the right word.
Anomalies.
Yeah.
Anomalies.
In which colder temperatures hit an area than the last 10 years average. So if you have a zone 5 and you plant a zone 4 rose, you're going to be safe with that rose. So I would go one zone colder than what you are typically, what you're currently growing in. Now, if you're in zone 3, I don't know if I haven't found did much research below zone 3 that you would need a zone 2. I don't know if they make such a developed. I'm sure they do. I just didn't do my research on that particular aspect of rose growing.
Right. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing here is to take your time and find something that would work for you.
There are zone 2 roses.
This is something that you want to.
If you're looking at 10, 15 years if you do it right. Yeah.
It's not where it's like, and it's an investment. You're investing and also being mindful of the space it's going to take up.
How big is this thing going to get? Because we see rose bushes, not just, you can trim them down. You can keep them pristine and shaped just right, or you can let them flurry out and they can take up quite a lot of space.
If you're looking for a new hobby, I collect hobbies, so I'm not going to grow roses. But if you're looking for a new hobby, I think this is a good hobby because you're going to do the pruning, you're going to do the mulching, you're going to do the fertilizing, the watering. You can get yourself on a little watering schedule.
Hybrid roses need about 2 to 3 foot apart. Shrub roses need about 3 to 5 foot of space in between plants. You got your climbing roses. You got your hybrid roses. You've got your heirloom roses. You need air circulation in order to reduce the possibility of fungal diseases. Spacing is important. You just can't shove them all together like a bunch of shrubs. You've got to have air circulation in order to make this work correctly and make your investment worth the time and effort you're putting into it.
Maybe I would like roses more if I grew some.
Maybe you just grow one.
I don't know. Yeah.
Well, now that the weather is starting to warm up, you'll want to protect your garden from various beetles, weevils, borers, including Japanese beetles.
And what better way to prevent these pests from destroying your garden than by controlling them while they are larvae? Grub Gone is an easy-to-apply granular product that can spread on your turf successfully to control grub invaders developed by Phylum Bioproducts from naturally occurring bacteria. Grub Gone is a non-chemical BT product that specifically targets only scarab pests and is safe to use around bees and other beneficial insects.
And if you've already got those beetles flying around your yard, Beetle Gone is the answer. It is the only organic water dispersible powder that can be sprayed directly onto your edible plants. Find out more and all the information you need to know. Go to BeetleGone.com. That's BeetleGone.com.